my daughter got better, and I started trying to figure out my way back. I read a lot of books. I talked to a lot of people. And a friend sent me a quote by Bishop John Shelby Spong, and it was exactly what I needed right then. I do not experience God as a supernatural power, external to life, invading my world with supernatural power. I see no evidence to think this definition is real. The problem is that most people have most deeply identified this definition of God with God, that when this definition dies, the victim of expanded knowledge, we think that God has died. And so that opened up for me a possibility. What if it wasn't that there was no God? What if I needed something even larger, and something that so far I couldn't imagine? And then one day, I was taking a walk. I took a lot of walks then. And I felt something, God, speak to me. And the message that I got was that when I grieved, God grieved. That what I felt, God felt. I went back to school, and this time I had some professors who themselves had larger pictures of what God was or could be. And the things that I was reading from all these very different sources just kept expanding and expanding for me the possibilities of what exactly the divine mystery, God, could be. One of those things that really expanded my horizons was learning about process theology. Now, I have made and will continue to make the joke that most people, when trying to explain process theology, require a thesaurus and a slide rule. But I found this book by Unitarian Universalist minister Gary Kowalski, Science in the Search for God. And in particular, a chapter in here called God is a Verb. Process philosophy holds that materialism is mistaken. What constitutes our universe is not an assortment of lifeless particles, but an ensemble of interrelated and dynamic happenings. In process theology, God's perfection is the gift of absolute empathy and rapport. God is the one who rejoices in each creature's ecstasy and also feels their anguish. For God is as closely related to each of us as the whole is related to its parts. Wow. This idea of a God that was not a thing but a process, but also something that I could connect to, communicate with in a way that I had always felt a call to do. Here I was, back somehow in the spiral, close to where I had first begun. And she walks with me and she talks with me.